Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Elena Demonetized. Today, I have someone so iconic because I grew up listening to you, and you had this one iconic song called My Dick, and it's Mickey Avalon. So, you guys, let's jump right into this episode with me and my co-host, Alpha Wolf. So, Mickey Avalon, introduce yourself, but you don't need an introduction. Tell us more about yourself. Who are you? Who's Mickey?
My name is Mickey Avalon. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I've spent most of my life here. I traveled around the world, but I always make it back home. But I'm ready to go somewhere else now.
So I knew you growing up. My Dick. What was the whole idea behind that song? Because it's just so funny, but it's like such an iconic song that everyone loves that song. The lyrics are so funny. So how did you even come up with that? What was the idea behind My Dick? What was like, that's your biggest hit, I feel. So like, tell me more about that.
Well, it's like one of those whenever you hear those stories and they're like, our biggest song, we did in 2 minutes or something like. That really is that. So there was 3 of us. We had like a little crew kind of just fucking around. And one of the guys wanted to do the song. And we're like, that's the worst idea ever. So 2 of us vetoed the idea. We're like, we'd rather do a song talking about like we have the smallest dicks or something. Like, we're like, we don't need to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the toughest dude on the fucking block, you know what I mean? So we're just like, because most of the shit we do is like funny. And then we like just to let him have his say. Like the other guy, his name Dirt Nasty Simon Rex. He made the beat, so he's like just to fucking make you happy. I wasn't supposed to curse in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, you're good, bro. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, so he made the beat in like 2 minutes. We all did it, and then even while we were doing it, we're like, maybe like we could tell it was all right, but. And then, of course, that became our biggest song.
Isn't that a trip? How something that you just like put together so quickly, like just like right off the top, can turn into something so beautiful, like without any thought put into it. You know, it's a trip.
And definitely, a lot of it was. I think if we were all like, "That's an amazing idea," and if Simon was like, "Let me try my best to make like the best beat,"
right.
I think it went. I think because he was just trying to shut him up, because he even had another dude, like a bigger producer, who tried to like not remix it, but do something, and he goes, and this guy's like some good music dude,
yeah.
And he's like, I can't even remake what you did because it's kind of off time and like this weird thing. So
like some like 3/4 like signature and
some
shit.
Weird shit
off,
I
yeah.
don't know. So
yeah.
like,
it's like I don't even know what you did,
bro.
Got
it, and then looking back, I'm like, I guess we that was kind of genius, because if you think about like all jokes, like your mama jokes or stuff like that, if like a stand-up comedian's on stage, like you could always fart or tell a dick joke and it's always gonna work.
Yeah, as long as the dick joke like lands well, it's always gonna make someone smile or
so
laugh.
Then we made sure, once we were like realized, okay, it's good, we made sure all the lines were right, but that beginning time, because he goes, I got this idea, and then Simon looks in and goes, let me guess, we're all going to tell about how we all have the biggest dicks, right? And he's like, yeah, that's what it's about. And like, he didn't even realize.
How'd you know?
Like, and it's funny because my second biggest song, same thing. Jane Fonda, the producer guy, one day I go, that's the worst idea ever. So now whenever someone tells me something, I think it's a bad idea. Same thing with business. Anyone who says like, if I'm like, that's the worst idea ever, put all your money.
Roll with it.
Roll with it.
It's being brilliant.
Like, so, yeah, I don't know.
And then you also had a song called "Stroke Me" as well. I love "Stroke Me." That one was a
That's a sample on there, right?
Yeah, it's sample from, I forgot what song though.
Billy Squire, "The Stroke."
That one, yes.
That one I knew was good.
No, that one was really good. I love that one.
We still bump that track, bro. Yeah.
So, all the time. It's my favorite.
And then Eminem did the same.
That's right. He
did
that.
it after, and I'll be the first person to be like, his version was better, but it really wasn't. Mine was. I don't like.
Well, I remember your version. I'll tell you that.
But that one, I play like second to the last of my set. That's kind of like the crescendo.
The climax.
If
you will.
Yeah.
So your music is very kind of like derogatory, I would feel. So how would you describe your music taste?
My musical taste is probably different.
It's definitely not music you'd play in church. I'd say that.
Yeah, not the stuff you play. Like, I never played instruments as a kid. Like, I would have. I just didn't have any chance to learn how to play them. But so I grew up on my father's music. It was like blues, rockabilly, country, western. So when rap music came out, and that's still all the music I like. But then when rap music came out, and I know I'm aging myself right now, but that was kind of the first music I found from myself. Like, I still like all my dad's shit, and he had a crazy record collection. But so that was kind of I found for myself. I still didn't think it would be something I would ever do. I like listening to it, and I like kind of rhyming in my head, but I never. Even though I grew up in LA, real close to entertainment industry and stuff, it just, I don't know, wasn't. I didn't know no one who like, I don't know. It wasn't like you normally, if you perform or do something, you kind of been doing that since you were like a little kid.
Right.
Now, now you meet people, they're like, oh, I want to be a rock star, and you're like, oh, cool. What instrument do you play? They're like, I don't play any instrument. You're like, oh, so you're a singer? And then they're like, no, I don't do that.
No, I'm gonna be the best guitarist player ever. Yeah, but you don't even play.
But they don't do it. Or like, like I want to be a movie star. Normally, if you want to be a movie star, you're like in theater when you're a kid.
You have great acting skills. You're doing acting classes.
But now people just want to be famous. So I didn't. Basically, the right people came around me at the right time, and it all took off. And back to what kind of you were saying about not caring about that song. I think because I didn't care about. And because it wasn't my dream, it happened easier. And then once it happened, I had a good work ethic. I didn't know I had a good work ethic because I just worked in shitty jobs, and you don't try to wash dishes as good as you can. But with that shit, I was like, I don't want to lose this. Based on it could end at any day, but I don't want to lose it because I didn't show up or I fucked it up.
Right. Do you think growing up? Do you think the music that your pops played around you, was that a major influence on, did that influence you on, just how you write and, how you rhyme?
Yeah, because, he had a lot of convict friends, and they kind of had, a certain kind of way of talking stuff, and even the records. So, records might not have been so explicit back then, but you still knew what they were talking about. Right. They just kind of had so then kind of once I started, writing raps, I kind of wanted them more in that kind of story, all his friends just told crazy stories, and they weren't necessarily poets, but they just kind of had this prison style kind of poetry.
Dude, convicts, guys that have done time, have a very eloquent, because they're very intelligent. You spend that much time locked up, reading that much material, they come out smart, but they're still hard as fuck. And so the stories that they say, I got you on that.
So that was
that influenced you too.
So
that's rad.
So the style was of this new music that I found, but it was and there was a few rappers that kind of there's a handful of guys that kind of did something kind of like that, like Slick Rick. Pretty much he was the guy that was the most, and pretty much Slick Rick and Too Short, and then Too Short's more where the sex raps came.
Absolutely.
From. So Slick Rick more storytelling. And then we're okay, we need to just tell stories, be funny, and then it needs to be just sex raps, I love
it's if Slick Rick and Too Short could have a kid together and they came out white, it would be Mickey Avalon.
Now it's now everything goes. Now you got chicks. Chicks are even dirtier now than.
Hey, some girls are killing it too, though. And they're getting nasty.
But there was a time it was really only Slick Rick, Sugar Dick Daddy, Mr. Long from Black Sheep, and wasn't really too much because rap's also real homophobic and stuff, and not about being gay, but even just talking about your dick at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you know what I mean?
In the 90s, I think the most talking about dick was, I remember they were talking about using condoms and shit back in gangster rap, you know what I mean? I remember Snoop Dogg was pulling out a rack of fucking condoms in the Gin and Juice video. So it's
that, we don't eat pussy.
Right, no.
Now it's okay to fucking talk about it and shit. Yeah. And then that was another thing. There was kind of certain rules not rules per se, but like in hip hop, like it's like real braggadocious and stuff like that. So we're gonna stick to that, but we're gonna like brag about shit that like people don't brag about. You know, like everyone talks about selling drugs, like we're talking about buying drugs. Like everyone's talking about how rich they are. We're talking about
how much money
poor we
are.
Broke
ass motherfuckers doing drugs.
Just
it's funny.
So it's still like saying all that stuff, not trying to flip it, but like it wouldn't have been, people are talking about shooting people and all that. It's like, obviously you're not doing that, or you're snitching on yourself, and either way you're fucking stupid.
But then it's cool because it's relatable, because everyone's talking about their dick, everyone's buying the drugs, like everyone's poor as fuck, so it's kind of like it's very relatable, and I feel like that's why it's kind of like people like stuff that they can relate to because they understand it and they connect to it more. So it's kind of like when you have all these rappers talking about like things that not everyone can relate to, it's kind of like the music's good but it's hard to like understand as well. But when you have you who's kind of like, oh yeah, we're talking about buying drugs, how poor we are, people are like wait a minute, that's like what we do, so they like that, they do more research on it, and they fan on your other music, and it's kind of like it's relatable. So I feel like that was like a smart career move right there.
We didn't do it on purpose, but it was good. And then now, again, I'm not saying like, oh, we had all this fucking influence and all this, but there's like plenty of the kids out now. It's like a direct. I mean, some of them, and I don't feel responsible or guilty or anything, but now they're taking the shit too far. Because like when they thought like, oh, rappers were dying when Tupac and Biggie died, that was just two dudes. Like, and it's fucked up, but the two biggest dudes basically killed each other in a fucking roundabout way. Now all these motherfuckers are ODing on drugs. Like, to get to like, you have to like one up the next dude, and if you roll like that, you're gonna die.
At some point,
they put their fucking shit on their address on their Instagram, and they get shot up. They do the kind of drugs that if you do them, you die.
They do it themselves.
And it's just like, it's sad that kids think that like that's what you needed to do to be hard,
right?
Like,
that's true.
Those drugs aren't even fun. Like, you're just not even conscious.
No. I mean, dude, I used heroin for 16 years, bro. I know the get down, and it's like fucking. There's no life in it. You know what I mean?
Like the word partying.
It's not partying. There's no party. You're
as bad as that
sleeping.
Shit was, and I'm glad I got out of that world. But the new shit's even worse.
It's worse. The fentanyl, dude, people are just dying.
Like the kids take
one
fentanyl,
hit and they're dead,
and tons of Xanax, and they're just unconscious.
Not waking up.
It's not even fun, like when you mix all those elements together.
It's not even like that though, because like when you're sick, when you're dope sick, and like kids just get stuck in that, they get so caught in it so quickly because fentanyl's so addictive. They can't get out of it. You're just so sick all the time that then I don't know. It's hard to explain. If you haven't experienced it, it's so hard to it's just like you just have to like have gone through it, and it's just we're just different. Addicts are just different, you know what I mean?
And at least then you kind of knew like, okay, I'm about to enter into this world that's like not fun, but you're enter into it because whatever pain you're in or whatever.
Right.
Now they don't even know because they think they're like getting something that the doctors give people, and
but it's not.
And it's just a bummer. Like, I don't. Like, the kids should just smoke weed or not smoke, whatever they want to do, but or not smoke weed,
right.
But like the talking about like pill, Xanax, like I don't even know all the lingo anymore, but I hear shit and I'm like, that's not like that ain't fun. Like, kids should be out drinking, dancing, having fun,
a good time,
not taking like things that make you unconscious and like a zombie, And so if they're not dying like that, they think they gotta like. To be hard, it's not about like fist fighting anymore. It's about like drugs, guns and automatic guns and like.
No, there's a lot.
And like that ain't hard either.
It's not.
There's nothing tough about that. I mean, did you say Simon? You said Simon Rex earlier, right?
Yeah.
So he was a VJ. He was VJ on MTV, wasn't he? Back in the day.
He VJ'd for MTV. And then he was doing like sitcom. His acting career is like blown up again. So congrats to Simon.
Shout out to him.
But basically, long time ago, now a really long time, probably 20 years ago or something. My friend Ben, he just got out of prison, and he was friends with me and Simon, but I didn't like. He was friends with both of us, but I didn't. He basically hooked me up. He's like, this dude makes beats. And I was like, okay, cool. we just kind of became friends.
Right.
Like, we never really. He was doing his acting thing, but then for a little bit, and he kind of got me pretty much helped get me signed and everything because I lived at like a sober living kind of halfway house thing, and we would just make these songs. Just kind of having fun. I didn't know anyone was listening to them. I worked at a pizza shop, and I had to be home to that place at midnight.
You had your curfew. Yeah.
So I had a curfew.
Yeah.
So
you love those sober boys.
I love the sober boys. Yeah, because like they've done everything to where they don't really have like. They don't really care about anything anymore. So it's kind of just like they're really those guys are really fun because they're just such down ass guys. Yeah. Because like they're like listen, I've done all the drugs. Like at this point, I'm just living life, and I'm like I love that. I'm just like let's do this, let's do that. They're like yeah. So, and they're doing it sober. So I'm like they're down ass guys and they're sober. So I love sobriety homes, but yeah, sobriety boys. Yeah.
And I'm not sober right now. I'm drinking beer.
No.
I'm
not saying anything about. We're not going to a meeting after this. Nothing like that. Hey, that's fucking rad though because you got clean and then you met him.
So I wasn't kind of clean.
Or you went to halfway house.
I was living in that place and I was 100% clean.
Right.
And I had to be 100% clean to be able to have a beer. And again, that's not for everybody either. Everyone needs to find whatever they're.
Right.
Whatever
we all have our own path.
And it was also kind of the time when like you could like burn CDs at your house.
That's right.
Like you could just make some shit.
The Napster days.
Like that, yeah. So we make songs and we're just having fun. Most of them are like unlistenable and fucking really stupid, but there's a few good gems in there. And I had to be home midnight, but he was going out to the clubs at night and then handing them for people to play. DJ AM, rest in peace. He passed away too.
Oh no shit. Okay, so he was playing some of your shit.
Big DJs are playing our shit.
Yep.
And then so when I got a call from the dude who ended up being my first manager and getting me a record deal, I thought it was Simon pranking me because I didn't know anyone ever even heard this shit.
Oh, what a trip. Okay.
So it's kind of like. So when he's talking to me and I'm like, I'm going along with it, and then finally I'm like, he's like, this is not Simon, and I want to bring you in here. So I'm like, okay, that's just fucking weird. So I went in there the next day, and then he's like, I want to be your manager, and up until then, all my managers are the guys that pay you,
right,
minimum wage. So. Not the guy who takes they're the ones that get you paid, but then they take a cut. So when he's like, I'll be your manager, I was like, okay. He's like, can you make more songs? I was like, well, yeah, I could definitely make more if like you give me some money for the next few months so I don't have to work as much.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, if you can you give me $1,500 a month for 3 months? And then he's like, yeah, I'll do that. And I was like, sick. I'm like, this bridge is going to be burned like way before the 3 months comes. But like, I thought I just got rich. And then that was the beginning of it. But it was Simon playing the CDs, me not knowing, things. I think a lot of things happen because if that was like, I see people like trying to do it now. And I'm like, I don't have any advice for you. A, because it's one of the worst like industries. B, you need to just do it because you're either fucking around or you really love, do it
because you love it, and then something will happen from it.
Whatever art you do, you need to care. Like, you need to be like, I'm working a fucking dead end job to be able to do this for 2 hours a day or 1 hour a day before I go to sleep, and I'm gonna make sure I do it the best that I can just for myself. And if something happens, but like, I don't know what to tell people, like. Kind of, they're already asking me. They're already going down the wrong. They're already
right. Like, bro, so how'd you make it? Like, dude, I just fucking did. I didn't even fucking try it. This is just how it happened.
And it sounds
it's
like
just meant to be in a sense for you because you were at the right place at the right time.
I was at the right place at the right time.
And that's kind of how the world works.
You can't
reenact that shit.
You can't reenact that shit.
No.
Like, you need to be like on point. Whatever you do, like you don't need to have like your fucking resume with you, but like whatever you do, you need to be on point. Like if you're a fighter, you can't be like, oh, can you fight right now? And you're like, no, oh, I need an 8 week camp.
No, you need to be ready.
You need to be ready right now. Then. Like
stay ready.
If you have if you can train like 6 weeks long, like if you have that grace to be able to do that, but if not, you need to be able to show up.
Right.
Like, I see so many people missing things because they're like
missed opportunities.
It's not lined up perfect, and they're afraid. Like my mom told me when I was a kid, say whatever you can to get your foot in the door, whatever it is. only if you know, like once you get there, you can do what needs to be done.
Right, because when you show up, you better be able to fucking dish it out.
Like they're like, "Have you been to college?" And you're like, "Yeah," and you're thinking like, "I've been on a college camp."
Yeah, I've
been to college before, but like, don't put yourself somewhere where you're not gonna be doing anything. But like, be ready, And then I've seen like
that's good advice though. You know what I mean? Just always be ready, yeah.
And I've seen with most rappers, I don't know if it's the same with other kind of music, but it's like first you need to kind of like your city. If you're not up in your city, then it's probably not gonna like. Once you got that, then the powers that be, the people that need to like that know how to do that shit will get you. But like even if it's just fucking high school part, whatever it is, like. In the whatever, like you need to get where you're the hottest thing there, and if you got that, you don't need to ask me what you need to do to make it happen.
If you don't have a Twitter, Instagram, and all that shit, now and you don't have any music that's already put out, like if you're like, hey, I rap, or I'm a producer, I make beats. Okay, well, what do you have?
Yeah, like many
you don't
times
have
I've
anything,
heard, like
hey, bro, I do this.
Beats.
Yeah, like, well, can I hear something?
And they're probably amazing.
I don't have it.
And even if I don't, they're probably, but it's like I can't. It's even. I don't know as much about the porn industry as you guys, but I even see with that, I'm like, the porn industry is probably in the best place it's ever been because these girls or guys or whoever, they can take it into their own. They like, if you know you're the hot shit, fucking, you don't need someone taking advantage of you. And now with social media and shit, get that shit out.
Yeah, you're not getting exploited.
Same thing with fucking music. You know what I mean? Like. I don't know. So I think it's that. It's
make your own music.
If you know you're the fucking shit.
Then do it.
But you might not be.
Right.
Like a lot of people are crazy delusional.
Dude, I know we talk about that a lot because there's a lot of trans girls that like pop off on Instagram and just people in general that like they'll go on their story. You hear them all the time.
No, and you're like
you're like the shit they're saying. You're like, do you really? They actually believe the shit they're saying.
You know?
But sometimes it happens where somebody actually believes so much that they're the shit, and they believe it and speak it out. They actually become something.
If you can do that, like, cool. But like, I don't want to be the person who tells somebody like that's terrible. You know what I mean? And it's like the problem is, I think, or at least a big part of the problem. This generation, few generations now, for a minute now, like giving trophies for shit that you're not good at, and your mom's always gonna love you, hopefully, unless you've really been abused and shit. So like when your mom tells you you're the best, that
doesn't mean that
means
you're the best.
You're her best
in her eyes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like these kids believe this shit, and it's like I haven't seen too many people, I could be wrong, that are like the best at what they do, where it didn't happen for them. Like
you're gonna get fucking noticed if you're good. You're gonna get noticed.
But like half
you have to put yourself out there,
and you can even be good. Like I mean, think about how many people can play like classical piano, and they're like insane. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like you can be the best at something, but then it needs to be packaged in this way, and now like with the attention spans like that, it's
one thing to be really, really good at something, but it's another way in this world to know how to market.
And you gotta know I don't know. Like I said, this was nothing. I'm ready to I can work at any time. I can dig ditches.
You're ready to go.
I can do construction.
Yeah.
I can I can do it.
Right. You're not fucking. You're not just like if I don't have a microphone, I can't make money. Like
you've
made money doing all sorts of shit, haven't you?
I made money doing all sorts of shit, but I just I don't know the delusional thing. I think they're getting more delusional. From their parents telling them they're their best, and I think the drugs also. I think a lot of these are like disassociative drugs, where they think they're like in the movie and stuff. They're watching the movie, but they think they're in the movie.
They are the movie. They're the main character in the movie.
Like I don't know.
So you're doing art now. I see that.
I did art before. So that was my plan. Not my plan. That was my dream. When you grow up, what you want to be?
Yeah,
so
you want to be an artist.
You wanted to be an artist. That was my dream too.
When I first got,
I wanted to be an artist.
Well, first I want to be all the crazy things that kids want to be. Like an
astronaut. Oh my god!
I didn't know anything about it, and then like a football player, which I didn't play football. But then baseball player, I did play baseball, and that I wanted to be. But then when I started doing drugs, like. Before high school, so I didn't take that any further. I wasn't like a serious. I could have been, but but that's still in like kid fantasy land, you know?
Right.
The first one that was like what I thought was doable, and Mom would take me to the museum and stuff.
Art, yeah.
But even then, now there's living artists that you could be successful. But even then, that was something that you didn't get successful in until you died. When I was a kid.
That's true. Because all the art will become more valuable once you're dead.
Yeah, like it's gonna be more and more. But like now you have living. Like this is the first time probably in a lot of history where like you could be alive and do all right. But not when so the thing I wanted to be like didn't even have like a chance to even happen when I was alive. So I painted my ass off. I got married when I was young, and I painted like that's what I did like militantly, and I love music as a fan, but not as making a music. Mm-hmm. So once I did get into doing it, I didn't paint as much. Oh, and I painted oil paintings. I started doing watercolors when COVID came because I didn't have a studio at the time, and it was easy. I could do commissions that were like it's actually harder to do the watercolors, but easier to send them out.
Watercolor was really tough for me as a kid too, because like wherever I would put it, would bleed over to the next, and I'm like, damn it!
Like
watercolor is so hard for me to do as a kid. I never like succeeded in watercolor because when I'm doing art, kind of like wherever I place it, it better be there. But water it bleeds, and I'm like, fuck. Now the red is mixing with the blue. Now it's it's purple, and I'm
with like oil, you can't make a mistake. I mean, you can make a mistake, but you can't because you can just brick lay over that shit. Okay. Like so. People look at watercolors and they're like, oh, it's like what old ladies and like children do, but it's paint, it's hard. Yeah. So I just didn't. I was on tour all the time. I didn't really have the time then, but I still was like, I would always think about it. And then when COVID came, and I wasn't allowed to perform, so basically they took away my livelihood, And so then I started. It kind of worked out great because then I started painting people's dogs and cats, and like also a lot of artists are big. They think like that's beneath them, but
animals.
But I paint everything like I approach everything different, but I approach it how I would paint whatever that thing is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna paint a dog or a cat the best, and I'm not like that's not beneath me. I like the like laborers like kind of so that paid the bills during COVID, and then it kind of got me back. Now I got a studio again, and now I got both going on, and I'm like I should have been doing this. The whole
so between doing art and music, which one are you more like passionate about?
Well, I'm passionate about both of them, but I think with art, with music, I don't know, like with painting, it kind of it has to be a certain way, and I probably treat it more sacred. If I didn't, I'd probably do better if I could get that like carrying so much out of the way. But I think that's like more I don't know. I think that's like more my language,
mm-hmm.
but writing's about this. Sometimes you like stuck in words for a while, and then you like don't really feel like talking anymore, and then sometimes you're stuck in images for a while and you just want to. So I kind of approach them both similarly, but I don't know if I answered the question, but I like them both.
I mean, like the art's pretty. I feel like the reason why art is so nice because like every single art has like a certain kind of like unique taste to them. It's kind of like it could be like so simple, but then like there could be three of us looking at one art. It's kind of like we all see like different things.
Yeah,
and I feel that's what's so cool about art. Is like it has its own little story.
One's like by myself. I like about painting that I don't need. Like with music, you need a lot of different people, but that thing, it's like the things I don't like about it are the same thing I do like about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's cool that it's by myself, but then it's cool when you make music with other people because then you get shit that you wouldn't have got if you were just by yourself. And then it's more steady with like if my booking agent's getting me if the people are still showing up to the shows, which they are, so I'm grateful that I can line up like the next 6 months, and like sometimes I'll be killing it on selling paintings, and then some like right now it's like is the well run dry? And then my girl was like, "Oh no, it's probably because it's tax season and everyone."
Hey, wait a couple weeks, bro. Hey, wait a couple weeks.
Shit like that. Like, I couldn't believe during COVID time when no one had money. Supposedly, I think they were just spending.
People were spending money that they had saved up, dude. They're like shit at the end of the world.
And then we went to Indonesia for 10 months, and I was there. I could send paintings from there. So, you know, right now I'm lucky. I'm grateful that like I get to do the shit I like, but again, I'm like I don't have a. You
don't have to rely on anybody really with your art. You don't got to rely on anybody but yourself and your own creativity. But music, it's more of a machine in a sense, because especially if you're touring or even doing studio work, like unless you're making your own beats and all that shit, and you have all your stuff at home, like you can rely on yourself. But like otherwise, you're like, hey, I need a beat, or hey, I need to go record or whatever.
And I luckily got to a certain place kind of before, but then I kind of made a lot of not mistakes. I didn't care about my life so much, but I wasn't suicidal or nothing. I mean, maybe I was. But like I really didn't care. Like genuinely did not. Right. And now I'm looking back and I'm like, God, I had some like really big, powerful machines in my corner, and maybe I should have cared a little bit more, because like I wouldn't go back and like knock on their door like, yo guys, I'm doing good now. Like I just know. This is my, like just go, just keep playing these shows and go around the world and just do what I do, play my little songs,
What was Indo like? Did you surf out there?
I surfed a little. I surfed. I'm not a great surfer. All my friends are really, not all my friends, but my surfer friends are pros and they're crazy good. So it was awesome.
I want to take her to Bali. I want to go out there so bad.
That's where we're in Padang. No one was in the water. Now there's a million people in the water. But
right. No, that's a really good surf spot. Padang, yeah.
Like, you surf, obviously.
Yeah.
So we were there with the whole world closed, no one in the water. Cool. Like I was doing Muay Thai and surfing. I twice a day I boxed it in Muay Thai, and then I'd surf like at sunset. But then I went back when things were back to normal, and I was like, I needed to be surfing twice a day and do it, because I could do the other anytime, but the water would never be empty. Because now it's not back to how it was before COVID. It's even more than, it's double crazy.
There's more people than there were before.
Well, if you're Russian or Ukrainian and you don't want to be a soldier,
they can seek asylum there, huh?
Yeah, they could go there.
Oh wow, dang. So that's way.
Nothing against those guys, but like it's just a amount of like,
no, for sure, it's
certain amount of people.
Yeah, it's not as
in
paradise.
The water,
yeah.
And like surfing's the opposite of doing it you're doing it by yourself, but you got hundreds of people around you that have something that could like take your head out. Someone doesn't know what they're doing, their board flies out.
Oh, absolutely.
You got a problem.
Yeah, you got a fucking train wreck for sure.
But yeah, definitely take her out there. It's amazing.
Talk about Muay Thai, dude. What's that all about? You still training?
Yep, still do that.
Does that help you like as far as like?
I got addicted to that. Yeah, that worked with my brain. I heard people talk about like getting addicted to exercise and stuff like that, but like I'm not the guy who goes to the gym and gets on the
gotta get on the pump and all that. Yeah,
like I'm sure it would do the same thing for my brain, but like I need to do things that I like to do.
Do you like to get hit?
I don't like it, but I don't mind it.
Okay.
So I've been like that I've had my whole life. So now I know how to like. But that's not like the big thing that like stopped it from happening. You know what I mean? And if you don't, then don't do that.
Right, because you're gonna get hit. Yeah.
But learn to protect yourself. But like I always had my hands down, and I wish I'd like getting hit less because I'd probably be better at protecting myself. But yeah, that's not the. That wasn't a blockage, and then that's why I did it like twice a day, because I was like, oh my god, I felt like I kind of was sober, not sober like drinking whatever, but I didn't hit that.
When you say sober, bro, for me, I'm sober because I don't fucking use heroin anymore,
that's
dude.
What I mean.
Yeah, and so people are like, you're not sober, Blake. I'm like, well, I am to me. I am. Yeah. I'm not doing the shit that ruined my fucking life.
And I wasn't like white knuckling it or nothing, but that was the first time where I had like a peace of mind, I would say, from the Muay Thai and the boxing.
Okay.
And so now I do maybe 3 days. I wish I do it every day, but there is way cheaper. I like to have someone else to go with. and like the hours were different. Like my boxing coach now, he works like my boy. He works. So we gotta do it at night, and it's just
different. The scheduling's different. All that, yeah.
But I'd like to get back to every day, you know.
Hell
and then
yeah.
I did a real boxing match out there, and
you competed.
What?
You competed?
Yeah, I did a.
Mickey Avalon getting down in the fucking ring. Hell yeah.
I thought I was gonna beat him. I lost, but no excuses. I had a certain plan, and then I just gassed myself right because the guy who wasn't even my corner guy goes, "No, don't do that." He goes, "Just fucking go at him like a street fight." Which I'm like, why did I go through all these months of like doing
all this training and like being at peace and calm and like just to go gas yourself out?
So he had a helmet. I didn't have a helmet.
Oh fuck!
And then he wouldn't. We're like, come on, just get. He wouldn't take it off. So I got him good in the first round, and then I was just breathing so hard and just trying to keep. Like I still did good, but. But I'm glad I got the first one out of the way.
Got that out the way, dude. Now you're like, now you know.
Like, and I knew that would have happened, but and me trying to knock him out when he's got the thing on. He's like, you can still knock someone out with that thing on.
Sure.
And I'm like, so yeah, thanks for giving me like the great.
Yeah, you can still do it, bro. You got this.
You know, it's like, yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, so that gives you peace of mind, and through that, so you just dropped a new album.
Yep.
Never Satisfied?
Yep, Never Satisfied.
Fuck yeah. It just dropped recently, didn't it?
Yep.
He's going on tour for it.
Well, he's fucking playing tonight in Costa Mesa.
Yep, in Costa Mesa. It's like 9 songs. There's some guitar on there, and I'm super proud of it. And then another last thing, it's not out yet. I thought this was going to be out before that. When I was in Indo, I had a friend there who's in Balinese. Born and raised there, and then we made a band called the Fuck Boys.
I love that. I love it.
It's with the asterisk, so it's Mickey Avalon and the Fuck Boys with the asterisk. So if we ever got anything on the radio, they could say like the F Boys or something.
Yeah.
But we thought we only went there for 2 months, but ended up staying for 10. So we were always like, oh, we should make a song, whatever. We made a whole record. Made the demos. They're fucking killer. And then we're like, we need to record it properly out here,
right?
And have a producer. So we did. Jesse Hughes from Eagles of Death Metal produced the record. They all flew out except the drummer couldn't get a visa. So Josh Freeze, who's like the best drummer in the
step
game,
in and fucking kill it.
We already recorded it, but it's taking a lot longer to finish. So that's I mean, I'm proud of the record I just put out also,
but you're more excited about this, huh?
Well, that was like this kind of happened while I was waiting, and that was like just took there's like there's more moving parts on that, and we just like fucking got it. So as soon as that comes out, that's like, and we already started even making the second record for that. So that's I'm like super I'm excited about this one, but this record's like me and my boy. It's more like, even though there's like I did like a first acoustic song on there, and there's like guitar, but it's still kind of more what I do. And not that I did anything that crazy on the one, but it's like something new for me with the band and the and him producing it and stuff. So that's the next thing.
But like, as you know, with art, like as you start to explore new avenues, like you like make these new connections in your brain, and you're like, damn, like you start to flow into that new like aspect of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's like growing up too. How old are you? 45?
I'm getting close to 50.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay. You look great, dude. Yeah.
That's the only reason I don't mind.
No, so but you know what I'm saying? Like as you've grown up, like
if you do those preservative drugs and you get out of
the heroin, dude, that's fucking.
But you gotta get out of time.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're like, how old are you? You're not 90. They're like, no, I'm 58. But they look if you don't, you know.
There's
but
a
if
certain
you get
time.
out in time.
Yep.
Like they used to put it in like makeup and stuff,
Damn,
like preservative.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like really a preservative. But so you know, you gotta do stuff that you find interesting. Like I stay in my lane because like what I do, I can only do what I do.
Right.
You know, like I can't come out and try to like sing falsetto or something. So even with the Fuck Boys, I'm still like,
you're still kind of killing it with the rap style, but more
but it's
rocky.
like with other guys, like there's more going on.
So a little bit more of your childhood influence playing out in this new album. So that's getting mixed and mastered right now.
That's getting mixed and mastered right now
as we speak.
In it was everything comes out as supposed to, but the dude who was doing it fell through. So those dudes. So it got written in Bali. They came here,
recorded in LA.
Recorded it. It fell through with the dude who's doing it. Got sent to Brussels.
Oh wow!
And that dude's killing it now. So it's like,
damn. So it's in Europe right now, just fucking kind of in limbo. Like,
and you gotta like fight to get your shit done, but at the same time, like. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes they go to, here to go to there.
Hey, my other homies, I bounced it down over this guy, and he's going to fucking mix it over. Yeah.
So Jesse basically.
I know how it goes.
Dude in Brussels fucking puts this. It's not quite even a mix. It's like he's still putting the tracks together, and then he'll give him all his notes, and then it will get. So once it's like there, it'll be quick as hell.
Right.
But because it lagged, it's probably even better now because, like, I need to I make most of my money, pretty much all my money, from touring.
Okay.
That's
when you bring it in. You're selling your merch. You're doing your ticket sales.
Even when I was at the big, it was kind of like the sales of records pretty much just ended. You know what I mean? Right. Like it still happens, but so like it's cool that I did something else that I'm proud of that I can go tour on. So
right.
And it's like, and I don't want to tell the producers and all this stuff, like, yo, we're not going to make any money off this. I just need it so I can keep
going in my life.
So I can do it. But, like, in my head, I'm like, I don't care. Like,
doesn't matter.
And they want to hear all the old shit, too. Like, they don't want me to just play all, you
go see someone. Like, hey, play my deck.
You know, like, you go see Prince, and he's like, I'm not playing Little Red Corvette. You're like
what the fuck, bro? You have to. Yeah.
So it all worked out.
Hell yeah. That's probably going to drop. I'd say, what do you think? Probably end of the summer, yeah? To be safely thinking. That way, it'd be a way to flow into fucking sales.
Unwritten Law? You know that band?
Absolutely, dude. They're from San Diego.
Yeah. Oh, of course you do.
Scott
Russo, yeah? If I remember, you're from San Diego. Yep. So we're friends. They hit me up like last minute. Like, yo, can you go to Australia for 15 shows or 17 shows? A lot of them already sold out, blah, blah. And I'm like, and it was like 2 weeks away. I'm like, and I could, like, normally I don't do stuff like that, but like I can. I'm like, yes, you're ready. I'm ready.
Exactly.
I would prefer like that we had more time to do this properly.
Right.
But yes. So then I got my visa. They already had they had the whole tour planned.
It's already booked.
Shows sold out.
Damn.
They didn't get their visas, so basically it didn't happen. Like they were at the airport, like they did like stuff to expedite it. I think Australia got crazier.
They do. Australia and New Zealand they're very touchy, dude. Like letting people into the country.
Like it wasn't like that. Like they're kind of like how Canada's like that crazy.
Yeah.
You have any dumb, like not even crazy, just dumb stuff.
Even like, parking tickets. They're like, we can't let you in.
Dumb stuff like that. So I was ready to go. Didn't happen, and so it looks like July. Now they got them. Now they got the things. So and. Bali's right near.
It's right there, dude. It's like Mexico. That's like a 3-hour flight from Australia, right there.
So, if everything worked out, they could easily. Because another thing is like it's hard. They can't come and tour with me out here. We put out the record, and unless something amazing happens, which it could, it would cost more to bring everyone than to do it. But them getting to Australia, they're like, we'll come to Australia on our own dime.
No problem.
Boom, boom, boom. So. And that would also put the fire under everyone a little to like, okay, now like let's get this. Happening. And then that also could pump me more like in the festival world because unless you're like the new, whatever is like the new rapper, like you kind of need like a band for most of those festival things. So that's yeah.
Well, believe it, bro. I mean, I think big things are happening for you, dude.
I'm happy I'm alive, and you know it is.
Fuck yeah, dude.
But yeah.
But before we close out, because we have to get into sound check, is there anything you want to plug before we head out?
I think we did. The paintings I think are just on my link tree or whatever website, Instagram.
MickeyAvalon.com, right?
Yep, MickeyAvalon.com. my Instagram has an underscore, so it's Mickey_Avalon, and I think all the other ones is just my name.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much for taking time out to come sit down with us. So, you guys, that's Mickey Avalon. I was fangirling because I love Mickey Avalon. So, again, thank you so much for coming out. And without further ado, you guys, let's get demonetized. And until my next episode, bye, you guys.